In these uncertain economic times, you've got to do whatever you can to save money. One of our biggest expenses can be our cars, especially when unexpected repair bills hit. Not anymore. If you own a vehicle with less than 130,000 miles, is less than 12 years old, has a warranty about to expire, or even no warranty at all, you could stop paying for car repairs. Roadside assistance, towing, and rental coverage are all included. Don't wait for the next repair. Make one free call right now to see if you qualify. If your vehicle is less than 12 years old, has less than 130,000 miles, even if it's out of warranty, paying for car repairs can become a thing of the past. Call us right now and get your car protected before your next repair bill hits. Get protection and no more repair bills. Call 800-696-1030. Again, 800-696-1030. That's 800-696-1030. 800-696-1030.
Joe had huge problems with the IRS.
I knew it was coming. I hadn't filed taxes since 1990.
All the IRS letters coming in added up to a nightmare.
To get up to like $68,000. My heart started beating fast. It's like, there's no way, man. I mean, I ain't going to be able to do this.
Then they stopped his paycheck.
So that's when I started making phone calls and found U.S. Tax Shield.
U.S. Tax Shield went to work immediately.
They just took the bull by the horns. What blew my mind is he called the IRS right then and there.
So why is U.S. Tax Shield A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau? Joe knows.
They saved me a ridiculous amount of money.
If you owe more than $10,000 to the IRS or state, choose the company Joe chose, U.S. Tax Shield.
It was the best decision I made. U.S. Tax Shield is the way to go. Life is good. Thank you, Lord.
Call 800-471-3287.
U.S. Tax Shield. Boo-rah. Yes.
800-471-3287. 800-471-3287.
The leader in talk radio on the internet. Right here on K98 Talk.
Ladies and gentlemen, he's a child of God, a husband, NRA conservative, radical right-wing supervillain, and Twitter rock star. American by birth, Texan by choice, and a badass by nature. He's the owner of TomO'Halloran.com, O'HalloranMedia.com, and PatriotRadio.net. Please welcome Tom O'Halloran.
Today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
And welcome back. This is the Thursday edition of the Patriot Radio Show, and I'll be your host, Tom O'Halloran. I'm broadcasting today from my underground bunker deep in Arcantana, Nebraska, and I'm here to irritate, educate, and agitate. Actually, we're not going to have a lot of agitation today. We're gonna have a good conversation. Again, my name's Tom O'Halloran. You can follow me on Twitter. I'm Sir_TPO himself. My primary blog is TomO'Halloran.com. That's purely a coincidence, I'm sure. When you get to TomO'Halloran.com, please be sure to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Spreaker, all the other social media that you use. Also find me on Facebook, Facebook.com/Patriot Radio Show, and like us over there. If you'd like to join the conversation today, please call 832-761-1766 for our studio line. Folks, we've just moved to the morning show. We've been doing 3 nights a week for the last 14 months. And starting on the 1st of July, we are now, rather than 3 nights a week, we are 5 days a week. 9 a.m. Texas time, Monday through Friday. So please tune in every day. Monday through Thursday, we do this show, the Patriot Radio Show. On Fridays, we mix it up. We do Jihad on America, where we talk about the Islamists in America, who they are, what they want, and why you should be afraid. If you did not catch my show on the Muslim Brotherhood, my show, Islam is Not a Religion, or my show on Islamophobia, please find your way to PatriotRadioShow.com and catch all 3 of these shows that will give you insight and perspective on the Islamic problem that you've probably not gotten anywhere else. They'll also give you a solid foundation upon which we build each and every Friday on Jihad, right? Each and every Friday as I continue to pull back the mask of Islam, looking at what's being done in the name of Allah, both here and abroad. And I do the news about Islam abroad because it's a look into the future of what's in store for America if we continue to allow the cancer of Islam to spread here in the homeland. Keep abreast of my shows. Listen to the archives of any shows that you may have missed, all on PatriotRadioShow.com. I'd like to thank my sponsors for the show, Dr. Dave Krupa, sitting in the chat room this morning. Good morning, Doc. Dr. Dave Krupa is a chiropractor based out of Houston. He's a chiropractor and a nutritional health specialist. I don't see him as a chiropractor, but he's helping me get my nutritional house in order. And he's got me off of the chemically fueled foods. Hey, knock it off. We've got a fuel truck driving on the ranch, and my dogs are alerting to it. I usually put them out, but... So Dr. Dave Krupa's got me off the chemical-filled foods and eating grass-fed meat. I've never been one for taking drugs from doctors, but I am now taking natural supplements to help some of my ailments. Knock it off. Sorry about that, folks. Anyway, we're back. Dr. Dave Krupa, you'll find his website at drkroupa.com. Also like to thank the Veterans of Foreign Wars. The VFW is a volunteer organization that exists solely to support our veterans and their families. Please get involved if you're not eligible to join, because you do have to be a veteran that has served in a foreign war to join. But if you cannot join, please at least look at getting involved and helping support them in their goals. We'd like to thank all of our listeners for tuning in each and every day. We see the numbers climbing. We are thrilled to death. We just like to ask you to do one thing: help support the show. The show costs money. It costs money for the servers. It costs money to keep the thing alive. If you're going to buy anything, please look at the Amazon Marketplace at the top of our website at PatriotRadioShow.com. Through the Amazon Marketplace, you can buy virtually anything. I'm looking at my website. At the top of the website, there's a picture of a flag. You can get flags at the Amazon Marketplace. There's a picture of me wearing a hat. You can get hats. There's a microphone. You can get microphones. You can get shirts. you can get virtually anything that you're interested in buying through the Amazon Marketplace. And it doesn't cost you anything more to buy it there. You've got the convenience of getting what you want to buy, having it delivered to your house, and the comfort of knowing that by doing so, you're supporting the show, because Amazon cuts a few pennies out of every dollar back in commissions. They take less and share it with us here for driving the business to them. So please help support the show. We're going to talk about a couple of things today. I want to start first on acknowledging all these knee-jerk responses to things that are happening. The libtards, the leftist media, the crybabies on the progressive side. When a moron shoots 9 people in a church and gets his picture taken with a Confederate flag, all of a sudden people, even people that have flown the Confederate flag, are now saying it's a racist flag. It's got to come down from the Capitol. It's got to come off of the websites. The TV network TV Land has taken the Dukes of Hazzard show off the air. Walmart no longer sells the Confederate flag. Neither does Amazon or eBay. These are knee-jerk, ignorant responses. The Confederate flag has nothing to do with hate or racism. Hillary Clinton in 2008 had her picture on buttons for people to wear in the South with the Confederate flag in the background. None of these people saw anything wrong with the Confederate flag. They were not offended in any way for the last however long it's been out there. The Confederate flag's been around since, the Civil War. They were not offended by it until they were told that they should be. And now all of a sudden you can't buy one because it's such an evil thing. You want a flag that represents hate? How about the rainbow flag? How about these homo-fascists that are trying to close down Christian businesses because the Christian business person doesn't want to participate in a sodomite marriage? Ban the homosexual flag because it's the activists of that group of people that are hate-filled. I know a lot of Southerners, and I don't know any one of them that has a flag, Confederate flag flying, that is a hateful person. They're prideful people. They're proud of their heritage. And for all of a sudden that to be a symbol of evil because some moron was holding a flag in a photograph that was taken. Like I said in a show last week, he was also wearing sunglasses. Let's ban those evil racist sunglasses. The flag had nothing to do with why he killed those people. He killed those people because he was sick. He had mental issues. He was on psychotropic or psycho-something drugs from a doctor. The drugs we were talking about a little bit ago. The drugs that Dr. Dave Krupa does not prescribe. It's people that are on these types of drugs. Virtually every mass killer, from the Colorado theater killing to the school shooting up in, New Hampshire, the Sandy Hook school. Every one of these killers has been on these drugs. That's what's causing this, not the Confederate freaking flag. And I'm sick and tired of knee-jerk reactions. All of a sudden somebody says something or somebody wears something while doing something, and all of a sudden everybody cries out, "Oh, we can't use this word anymore. Oh, that's evil." Well, this show isn't about the Confederate flag. Now, before I get off of that, I have never owned a Confederate flag. I've never had a Confederate flag on my truck. I've never had a Confederate flag decal or emblem anywhere. But by God, I will have them. I will have one on my truck. I will have one flying on my porch. I will have them on my website. I'm even going to have them for sale. Since you can't get them at eBay, I will help people get them. I am the anti-knee jerk. Now, that topic is over. What I want to talk about is the knee jerk reaction that everybody is having toward Donald Trump. Donald Trump makes a comment that these illegal aliens are coming up here and they're raping and they're killing people. Yes, this is a fact. All of a sudden, NBC drops their show. A Hispanic person that was scheduled to play at the, I believe it was the Miss America pageant. It was just going to be his first time on national TV. He canceled. You give up your chance to be seen on a national show and you cancel it because somebody speaks the truth. Folks, if you can't handle the truth, turn off your TV, because every once in a while the truth will raise its ugly head. NBC cancels Donald Trump's The Apprentice show. Univision cancels its carrying of the pageant. I mean, everybody is, Donald Trump said something about illegal aliens. Something unflattering. He's a pariah. We got to sever all ties. This is insanity. This is insanity. Donald Trump is speaking the truth. And while the liberals want to quash the truth, they definitely don't want Donald Trump running for president, because Donald Trump is like John Wayne. He says what the American people want to hear. He says it boldly. He doesn't care what you think about what he says. And he's got the balls to back it up. Donald Trump could easily take the next presidency. And people are afraid of this. Folks, stick around. We got a great show lined up for you. A whole lot of hell raising. We'll be back in just a couple minutes.
Ladies and gentlemen, he's a child of God, a husband, NRA conservative, radical right-wing supervillain, and Twitter rock star. American by birth, Texan by choice, and a badass by nature. He's the owner of TomO'Halloran.com, O'HalloranMedia.com, and PatriotRadio.net. Please welcome Tom O'Halloran.
We are back. We are back. I did not mean to send that back into the intro. I meant to run to an early break so I could throw my pooches outside. The gas truck was coming by again, and it was going to be too disruptive. Anyway, folks, Donald Trump mentioned the fact that the illegals were up here causing problems. Donald Trump wasn't making stuff up. What's got everybody upset is the fact that he was speaking the truth. Everything he said was the truth. Nothing that he said was made up at all. In fact, what he actually said came out of a magazine article. And I thought I had that set aside right here. But I could have sworn I had that set aside. But his appeal to the American people has the politicians on the left and the right nervous. Because none of them have the courage to stand up and talk the truth. None of them. And a couple of great columns this week. First one is by Cliff Kincaid. He says, Donald Trump may be the most politically incorrect candidate on the Republican side. He openly mocks the news media and addresses the problem of illegal immigration. But even more importantly, he attacks the trade policies that benefit our enemies, our adversaries. And by doing so, he challenges everybody in office. He challenges the talk show radio host Jeffrey Cooner, who calls the bipartisan... Boy, I'm a mess today. He challenges what talk show host Jeffrey Cooner calls the bipartisan ruling establishment, whose dominance is based on the complicity of the mainstream media. With regard to the media, Trump's attack on NBC after they cut ties with him demonstrates his understanding of what appeals to the conservatives who vote in the Republican Party. Donald Trump has conservatives excited like we haven't been in a long, long time. I mean, for the last couple of years, we had Mitt Romney. I liked Mitt Romney. He was a very solid business person. And he picked Paul Ryan, who was a financial person, and we would have had a CEO and a CFO. What better combination to get America back on track? It would have been perfect. The problem is Mitt Romney didn't have the fire in his belly. He didn't want it enough to fight for it. He wouldn't touch Obama on Benghazi. He did not want it bad enough to fight for it. I like... we've got several good people. Rick Santorum, I loved Rick Santorum, a great Christian, a good conservative, but he didn't have the gravitas. He didn't have the tough guy demeanor to pull ahead. This guy got it. Donald Trump says if NBC is so weak and foolish as to not understand the serious illegal immigration problem in the United States, coupled with our horrendous unfair trade deals we're making with Mexico, then their contract violating closure of Miss USA will be determined in court. Furthermore, they will stand behind the lying Brian Williams, but won't stand behind people that tell it like it is, as unpleasant as it may be. The response to Trump, who's rising in the polls, demonstrates that the conservatives like a candidate who exposes the liberals in the media as the lying hypocrites that they are. As analyst Nevin Gusak notes, Trump's economics and aspects of his national security strategy challenge the Washington consensus of globalism, free trade, and other international policies. This may be the sleeper issue of 2016. It may come down to it that the immigration thing isn't what puts him in the White House. Gusak is the author of the book Sowing the Seeds of Our Destruction, The Useful Idiots on the Right. This book contends that the trade policies under both Democrats and Republicans have served the interests of countries that are hostile to the United States. And this is what we've been saying on this show for the past several weeks as we tried to stop the fast-track trade authority that's going to push even more horrendous trade bills through. In his voluminous writings on the topic, Gusak is particularly critical of the current and former Republican governors, some of them running for president, noting that they have colluded to hasten the Red Chinese economic colonization of the United States under the guise of foreign investment. He faults them for traveling hat in hand to China to negotiate the outright takeover of U.S. assets. He cites the case of 25 wealthy Chinese investors that visited Orlando in 2012 for a U.S.-China Investment Week. This event was attended by Florida Governor Rick Scott, then Texas Governor Rick Perry, and Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker. In 2012, he notes that Rick Perry helped the Chinese telecommunications firm Huawei Technologies to open a headquarters in Plano, Texas. A 2012 report from the House Intelligence Committee called Huawei Corporation a threat to U.S. national security interests because of its connections to the Chinese government, including the People's Liberation Army. Accuracy in Media disclosed a 2012 investigative report that had linked the murder of an American citizen, Dr. Shane Truman Todd, who had been working on a project in Singapore involving Huawei. Governor Walker opened something called the Wisconsin Center China in Madison, Wisconsin, to facilitate trade with the communist regime. And it goes on and on. Florida Governor Jeb Bush had visited the Chinese province of Hainan, where he talked about stronger economic ties and tried to bring more trade with China to his state. These trade policies do nothing to help either the states or America themselves. And Trump gets this. Trump challenged this kind of pandering to Beijing and other foreign interests. And leading radio talk show host Jeffrey Cooner commented that Trump is a Teddy Roosevelt-style nationalist who seeks to break the stranglehold of big business, big media, and big government. Moreover, his vast wealth means that he cannot be bought and paid for, and that economic nationalism has been a cardinal principle of conservatism dating back to our founding fathers. While Donald Trump's comments on criminal aliens have garnered national attention, his criticism of the trade practices of foreign countries may be what ultimately sets him apart from the other candidates. And it could be his key to the White House. But what do we really know about Donald Trump? We know he's brass. We know he says what's on his mind. That what he says can often be spun or twisted to sound like a faux pas, even if sometimes it's not. We know that what he says often ticks off the leftists because they don't like John Wayne either. They don't like America. So anybody that stands up for America or the Constitution has got to be attacked and put in their place. But what do we really know about his plan for America? Unfortunately, most people don't know much at all. Because Americans seem to be content to be spoon-fed. If you don't see it on the news, if it isn't being given to you in sound bites, then you don't know what's happening. As easy as it is to do research on the internet, it seems that most people would rather not. This is obvious by so many videos that are on YouTube where the man on the street is out there asking or being asked questions about what's going on in America, and the ignorance is stunning. The nonsense about Donald Trump is that he's too outspoken, he's too flamboyant, irreverent, and he has hair that I hate. People can't vote for Donald Trump because of his hair. How often have you heard that? I don't care if the guy's bald. How can people be so petty to select a presidential candidate on their hair, on their looks? I don't care how fat Chris Christie is. I really don't. It's the fact that he's in bed with the Muslims that I can't stand. I don't care how black Barack Obama is. What I care about is the fact that he's an American-hating socialist. And he's hell-bent on destroying America. All I care about are people's policies, their beliefs, their backgrounds, because it's their background that's going to tell you what they're going to do in the future. So never mind the nonsense about the Donald. Let's look at the horse sense. And this from a great column by Doug Johnson. The horse sense is that Trump may be all of those things above. But speaking your mind has historically been something that Americans take pride in. We need to know more about America's plan, or Trump's plans for America, before we take a stand on him, before we make a decision. And if you take somebody's looks into account, their hair, their weight, the color of the skin, the way they dress, or anything else that says anything about anything other than their character or ability, then you need to look in the mirror to see the real fool. The media, the politicians from both parties, political pundits, and many talk show hosts are leading the charge to attack and or discount Donald Trump's run for the White House. Criticisms of the most superficial things control the conversation. Leftist groups have mounted campaigns to have those who do business with him quit doing so. Yet with all the criticisms and threats, Trump not only doesn't back down, but the stronger he stands, the more his poll numbers rise. And through it all, there seems to be no constructive arguments against Trump. We're seeing no attacks on his plans for America, no denial of the truths he's speaking, just attacks twisting his words through a politically correct filter. But Americans who aren't involved in the day-to-day world of politics and reporting, or who aren't members of politically correct class, they're hearing from Donald Trump the words that they themselves think. He's willing to say what they think and not back down when confronted. He's rapidly becoming a modern-day icon with John Wayne's strength that Americans look up to. And Americans are definitely tired of always losing. Since World War II, we've not fought a war to win. We see our soldiers coming home and talking about the rules of engagement that they must follow, that don't give them a fighting chance, let alone allow them to fight to win. Our jobs are being lost to foreign countries. Our economy's faltering. Our children are getting an education on a level lower than any time in American history. Many of our college graduates today come out of college unable to pass a high school graduation exam from the 20th century. Our educational institutions have become nothing more than indoctrination camps to teach our children how bad America is and how it must be changed. All this and more cause Americans to be wary of what's happened in our country. Americans want a winner who's willing to fight for them. And when Donald Trump says, "I love America," and when you love something, you protect it passionately, fiercely even, the American people rise up and cheer. This is a message they yearn for deep in their hearts. All this and more cause Americans to embrace Donald Trump. The criticisms of Trump are amazingly missing something. They lack anything negative. You don't hear the negative stories from those who work with him, those who have had business dealings with him. After all the employees he's had and all the business deals he's made, there's a void of criticism. In fact, long-term employees call him a strong, merciful leader. They say he's far more righteous and of high integrity than many people think. And while it may surprise many, he's actually humble when it comes to his generosity and his kindness. Yeah, he's got an ego as big as his buildings. You would too if you'd accomplished what he's accomplished, coming from nothing. But a good example of his generosity and his humbleness is a story that tells of his limo breaking down on a deserted highway outside of New York. A middle-aged couple stopped to help him, and as a thank you, he paid their mortgage off. You never hear Donald telling this story. Generous and good people rarely talk about charity that they bestow on others. But as much as this is interesting, the real thing that people want to know is, what is Donald Trump's plan for America? And since most Americans won't do their own research, here in no particular order is an overview of Trump's positions and plans. And again, this from a column by Doug Johnson. Trump believes that America should not intervene militarily in other countries' problems without being compensated for doing so. If America is going to risk the lives of our soldiers and incur the expense of going to war, then the nations we help must be willing to pay for our help. Using the Iraq War as an example, he cites the huge monetary expense that American taxpayers have had to pay. That's over $1.5 trillion, and possibly more depending on what sources you use to determine the cost, in addition to the cost in human life. Trump suggests that Iraq should have been required to give us enough of their oil to pay for the expenses incurred. He includes those expenses should be the medical cost for our military and $5 million for each family that lost a loved one, and $2 million for each family who received severe injuries. Speaking of military, the Trump wants America to have a strong military again. He believes the single most important function of the federal government should be national defense. He said he wants to find the General Patton or General MacArthur that could lead our military buildup back to the strength it needs to be. And while he hasn't said it directly, Doug Johnson believes that Trump's attitude indicates that he'd most likely be quick to eliminate the rules of engagement that handicap our military. Clearly, Trump is a win-at-all-costs kind of guy. And Johnson believes that he would apply this theory, this philosophy, in our national defense as well. Trump wants a strong foreign policy and believes that it must include 7 core principles. That America must come first, always, with no apologies. That maximum firepower and military preparedness. That we should only go to war to win. That we should stay loyal to our friends and be suspicious of our enemies, quite the opposite of what the socialist in the White House has been doing for the last several years. Keep the technological sword razor sharp. See the unseen. Prepare for threats before they materialize. Something a successful businessman needs to be able to do. Obama only responds to things that are happening when he reads about them in the media or sees them on TV. And then respect and support our present and past warriors. Again, something Obama has never, ever done. Trump believes that the terrorists who are captured should be treated as military combatants, not as criminals like the Obama administration treats them. Trump makes the point that China's manipulation of their currency has given them an unfair advantage in a trade with us. He says we must tax their imports to offset their currency manipulations. And this will cause American companies to be competitive again, driving manufacturing back to America and creating jobs here. Although he sees China as the biggest offender, he believes that America should protect itself from all foreign efforts to take our jobs in manufacturing. For example, Ford is building a plant in Mexico, and Trump suggests that every part or every vehicle Ford makes in Mexico should be taxed 35% if they want to bring that vehicle into the United States. This would make companies like Ford no longer be competitive using a Mexican operation, and this would move manufacturing back to the U.S. Trump wants passage of NOPEC legislation. That's No Oil Producing and Exporting Cartels Act. This would allow the government to sue OPEC for violating antitrust laws, and according to Trump, it would break up the cartel. He also wants to unleash our energy companies to drill domestically, thereby increasing domestic production and creating jobs and driving domestic costs of oil and gas down while reducing dependence on foreign oil. Trump wants to see a radical change in the tax system, not only to make it better for average Americans, but also to encourage businesses to stay here and foreign businesses to move here. He wants to lower the death tax and taxes on capital gains and dividends. This would put $1.6 trillion back into the economy and help rebuild the 1.5 million jobs lost due to the current tax system. He also wants to charge companies who outsource jobs overseas, tax them 20%. But for those willing to move jobs back to America, they would not be taxed. He wants to change the personal income tax as well. He wants Obamacare repealed. He believes that allowing real competition in the health insurance market will drive competition to bring prices down. He wants spending reforms in Washington. He believes that climate change is a hoax. He opposes Common Core, which is stupidifying our kids. He's pro-life. He's pro-Second Amendment. And he views same-sex marriage as evil. He believes that marriage is between one man and one woman. But he also believes that this is a states' rights issue and should be driven back to the states to do with as they see fit. Donald Trump also supports the death penalty. Folks, I don't see anything that I wouldn't support wholeheartedly. Please stick around. We get a lot more coming up. This is the Patriot Radio Show, and I'm your host, Tom O'Halloran. We'll be right back.
I reckon a storm's a brewing. Reckon so.
Reckon you got a hotel?
Reckon no. Money's tight.
Reckon Priceline Express deals can get you a great deal wherever you mosey.
You reckon? We reckon. I reckon our work here is done. Vamonos!
Express deals. Priceline savings without the bidding.
Think he's happy?
Oh, I reckon.
My husband Clint is a gourmet cook, but we don't have a gourmet kitchen, at least not in our home. That's why when we go on vacation, we rent a house from HomeAway.com. It's part of what makes HomeAway so unique. Finding and booking a vacation rental at HomeAway isn't just easy and free for travelers, it's also fun. You can pour through photos, read descriptions, even search maps to make sure a property is near the attractions you want to enjoy. White sand beaches, golf courses, snow-covered ski slopes. Not only do we have more space to be ourselves, we save money, which we can put towards the next vacation. To get started, just put in your travel dates, decide where you want to go and how much you want to spend. Here's where it gets fun. Tailor your vacation to your likes. We've rented beach houses, one even had a private pool. That was nice. There's even a HomeAway app for your phone or tablet that works as seamlessly as the website. Choose a house that fits your family. Double the kids up in bunk beds, or give them each their own room.
I love bunk beds. What I don't love is listening to the person on top squirm around all night.
I love bunk beds.
We prefer a house with a big screen TV, so we can have movie night.
Whose turn was it to choose the movie?
Oh, come on, Mom. The kids love this stuff.
I get lots of attention. But it's not always the right kind of attention.
Hey, shake that thing.
And that's why I went to GoDaddy.com and built a website that brings attention to some of my other assets.
Hey, sweet cheeks.
Like teaching self-defense classes.
Whoa!
GoDaddy! You want a piece of this?
Tom O'Halloran has a not-so-common core spelling lesson for the Obama administration. Ready? There is no K in America.
Now there's kids that can't pray in school, $100 tanks of gas. I can tell you right now, this country ain't supposed to be like that. No, that ain't my America. That ain't this country's roots. You wanna slam, hold on to Sam, but I ain't letting you. Yeah, I'm mad as hell, and you know I still bleed red, white, and blue. They ain't us, and that ain't my America. Oh no, that ain't my America. No, 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 no. That ain't my America.
Welcome back. This is the Patriot Radio Show. I'm your host, Tom O'Halloran. Okay, during the last segment, talking about Donald Trump, I used both breaks to try to find the quote that Trump had referenced in his illegal aliens comment. Everybody jumped all over Donald Trump. I couldn't find it in the articles I printed out on Donald Trump. But the piece was in the my next article, where we're talking about illegal alien advocates, these people that set up sanctuary cities and support the illegal aliens and stuff. It says Donald Trump has been roundly criticized by both Democrats and Republicans for saying that 80% of women coming across the border are being raped. NBC decided to stop the Apprentice show and the Miss Universe pageant that he produces. Mexico says it will withdraw its entrant to the pageant based on Trump's offensive statements. ESPN, NASCAR, and others have piled on. But Trump was just quoting an article from Fusion magazine. The piece is Rape the Price to Pay for Immigrant Women Chasing the American Dream. The article starts off by saying, before they can reach the American dream, many immigrant women have to survive a Mexican nightmare. A staggering 80% of Central American girls and women crossing Mexico en route to the United States are raped along the way, according to the directors of migrant shelters interviewed by Fusion magazine. So Donald Trump was referencing a fact-based story, and he gets castigated by the media, by politicians. ESPN. I mean, come on. ESPN, you're into sports. Why bring politics into this at all from your point of view? NASCAR. Really? But the media is so entrenched with these leftist morons that if a ball player slaps somebody, they get suspended. I think we may have a caller. We're going to see what we got on the line here and bring them in. This is the Patriot Radio Show. Who's on the line? Hello. Whoop. Hold on 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. Nope. Okay, that one was my bad, folks. I have a mute button on the phone, and they gave up on me. Okay, the fact is that the problem of rape and crime is infinitely more staggering than even Donald Trump let on. For example, almost half of all federal crimes committed in the United States in 2013 were committed in a few districts along the southwest border. Of 61,529 criminal cases initiated by federal prosecutors, 24,000 of them, 24,746, a full 40% of the total, originated in 5 border jurisdictions in Arizona, New Mexico, Southern California, Western Texas, and Southern Texas. Almost all were committed by illegals. The Government Accountability Office, the GAO, did a review of 29,000 criminal aliens. They were arrested a total of 1.7 million times. So 249,000, call it 250,000 illegals, were arrested 1.7 million times. That's an average about 7 times per alien. Between them, they committed 2.9 million crimes. And about half of them were arrested at least once for either assault, homicide, robbery, sex crimes, or kidnapping. Donald Trump speaks the truth. He never said that all Mexicans are criminals. He never said all Hispanics are criminals. He never even said all illegals are criminals. But the vast majority of crimes in the areas of the border crossings are being committed by illegals. Of these crimes, of the 2.9 million crimes, 50% of them were arrested at least once for assault, homicide, robbery, sex crimes, or kidnapping. Homicide, 25,000 arrests for homicide. What did Donald Trump say? 25,000 arrests of illegal aliens in 1 year for homicide. That's 8% of the total crimes. Sex offenses, 69,000 sex offenses by these illegal aliens in the southwest United States. Assault, 213,000 arrests. Kidnapping, 14,000. These numbers are staggering. The crime being committed by these illegal aliens should be enough to seal the border off and ship every illegal in the country back home. The GAO also studied a subset of 5 states with large illegal alien populations: New York, Florida, Arizona, Texas, and California. The time of the study was 2011. The latest data they had were for 2008. In New York, 28% of illegal alien convictions were for murder. And another 11% was for sexual offenses. In New York, there were a total of 835 murders. Illegal alien murder convictions in 2008 were 1,168. That's 140%. Now that number is greater than the total of murders because the 835 murders were all committed in 2008. The convictions in 2008 were for murders that were committed in 2006, 2007, 2008. So the numbers were a little bit skewed there. But the total sex crimes in New York was 2,775. Of those, 17% of them, 459, were illegal aliens. California, a total of 2,143 murders. Alien murder convictions, 2,859. Again, 135% of the total. Total sex crimes, 8,900. Illegal alien sex crimes, 3,300. 37% of the total. In Texas, 1,300 murders. Murder convictions from illegal aliens, 934. Total sex crimes in Texas, 8,000. Illegal alien sex crimes, 1,100 or 1,800. I mean, it goes on and on and on. In North Carolina, for some reason, North Carolina has a high concentration of illegal aliens. And the sex crimes committed by illegals against children are off the charts. In North Carolina, there were 752 arrests for illegals for sex crimes against children in 2014. Each illegal was arrested on an average of 5 charges for a total of 3,600 crimes. Statistics were not available for November of 2014, so the number last year was undoubtedly higher than the previous year. But despite this glaring issue, the serious vote fraud problems in North Carolina, even with a majority of Republicans in both houses, North Carolina passed a illegal alien driver's license program. How do we expect to fix the problem when we keep embracing them, letting them come here and get ID cards so they can vote? People are getting killed and raped in epidemic numbers. The illegals are preying on our children. Obama's catch and release program is killing Americans. When you release violent criminals, you are directly responsible for 121 murders that have been committed by illegal aliens that were released from jail under Obama. What kind of insanity allows this to continue? By coddling criminals at the expense of Americans, Obama, Eric Holder, Jay Johnson, and the other self-serving parasites in this unbearable destructive cabal, as well as leaders of both parties in the House and Senate, and then countless state and local politicians. They are personally responsible for this violent crime wave. They have the blood on their hands, and they should be charged criminally as accessories to rape and murder. And I called for this last summer when the borders were wide open and Obama was allowing these people, Obama was encouraging these people to come up from Central and South America and to come welcomed, open-armed into America. The rate of rape and murder on these train rides, on these treks across Mexico, was off the hook. Little bodies were found in the Rio Grande River. And every rape and every death was blood on Obama's hands because he was complicit. He helped make this happen by opening the borders. He helped make it happen by advertising on Telemundo in Mexico. Just come up, you'll be welcome. We will take care of you. We'll give you free education. We'll give you free housing. We'll give you subsistence money. My friends, if you sit in the car while your friends go in and rob a liquor store and somebody gets shot, you, outside, without a weapon, you will be charged and convicted of murder. Because you participated in the crime. Obama, Eric Holder, Jay Johnson, and any governor that allows and mayor that allows a sanctuary environment that refuses to turn these criminals over to the federal government for prosecution and deportation. Everybody involved has the blood of these people on their hands. The mayor and the city council in San Francisco has the blood of the young lady that was killed by an illegal that was deported 5 times this very week. 5 times he was deported, and he still managed to get a federal agent's gun and kill an innocent woman. People that allow this to happen need to be charged with murder. We need to put an end to this rampant criminal activity and charge the people that allow it to happen, that allow American citizens to be charged just so that they can get a Hispanic voter turnout. That's the show for today. Good afternoon, America. God bless you and yours. This is Tom O'Halloran. I'm out. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow morning for Jihad on America. Same bat time, same bat channel. And a shout out to Catherine up in Midland. We'll see you this weekend. You and your hubby.
The internet will never be the same. You're listening to K98Talk.com.
Good God, y'all. What is it good for? Absolutely.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. Then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-513-6154. That's 1-800-513-6154. Again, 1-800-513-6154. Call now.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.